Greetings, pet parents all across the fruited plain. Glad you could join us. Dr. Good Cookie here, behind the golden excellence in barking microphone for the Good Cookie Institute for Advanced Canine Studies. Today I'm going to show you how to make all-natural dog cookies and training treats at home in, yes, of all things, your microwave. Just 5 easy steps over the course of about an hour will give you 1 to 2 pounds of droolicious, jowl-smacking goodies for your best friend. You have everything you need right there in your own kitchen. A nice big bowl, a 6-cup blender, a pizza wheel, a long flat knife and a spatula, along with some non-stick cooking spray. You'll get to choose the meats, seasonings, soups, and broths that go into your own cookies. Note that I use plain yogurt in all of my recipes. It makes a nice smooth cookie dough and it helps your dog's digestion all at the same time. Let's talk about microwaves for a minute. Mine is a 1200 watt machine with a 16-inch glass turntable. You make the cookies right on the glass plate from the microwave. Having more than one turntable really helps, as you will get 2 batches of cookies from all of my recipes. You may need to experiment a bit to find the correct cooking time to fit your own microwave. You'll hear me talk about wet ingredients and dry ingredients. Wet ingredients mean your eggs, perhaps a can of broth, condensed soup, yogurt, even applesauce, orange juice, and your meat base like beef or chicken. All the wet ingredients should fill a standard 6-cup blender jar to the tippy top. If your cookie dough seems a little dry when you mix it, you can always add more moisture as you go along. Dry ingredients are the various flours and all kinds of spices that go into the cookies. Note that I never add any extra sugar to any of these recipes. I use a 50-50 blend of white and whole wheat flour. Another flour is simply whole Quaker oats run through the blender. I also use a 50-50 blend of long grain, brown rice, and pearled barley that's ground to a coarse consistency. This adds scratch factor to the cookies and stimulates good digestive health. Altogether, we're going to use about 6 cups of the various dry ingredients per batch of cookies. We feed and recommend Nutrisource brand dry kibble. Sample bags are available in great flavors at your local feed and hardware stores, not the big boxes. Try adding a sample bag of Nutrisource Seafood Select, bison, trout, or turkey kibble to one of your recipes. All the wet ingredients always include 4 eggs and about 3/4 of a cup of plain yogurt. Here are some ideas. How about 3 ripe bananas, some peanut butter, a can of pumpkin, apple, and carrot. For moisture, use a small jar of cinnamon applesauce. I've even used orange juice, or the fan favorite, liver chip. Again, the same basic 4 eggs and yogurt, but this time we use 2 pounds of beef liver that we've cooked and reserved the liquid. More on that in a minute. Here are some more sample sets of ingredients. I'll give you the basic recipes later. The one on the left is salmon crack. It is the easiest to make and smells great, well, at least to the dogs. Just a can of canned salmon, a sample bag of ground Nutrisource Seafood Select kibble, and a can of chicken broth. Another popular combo is cooked deboned chicken. I use 2 chicken leg quarters, or a pound of bologna garnished with fine Wisconsin cheese sprinkled on the top of the cookies before they're microwaved. Never forget those leftovers. My beef stew cookies come out good enough for me to eat. As you get the hang of it, you can experiment with other ingredients as well. Try lamb, ground turkey, or that venison someone gave you and you never got around to cooking, even tripe. Always cook your meats and make sure you handle the ingredients in a safe way, just like you would do with your own food. Okay, let's get down to business and make liver chip cookies. These are one of the most labor-intensive recipes I make, but they are so worth it when you see the reaction from the dogs. Drain the juices from 2 pounds of beef liver. Simmer that meat in clean water until it's thoroughly cooked. Take it out and let it cool. Divide your liver into 3 portions. Cut 1/3 into large chunks and toss it right in the blender with your wet ingredients. Take the other 2/3 and cut that into 1/4-inch dices and divide that pile in half. 1/2 of the diced liver goes right in the mixing bowl. The other half of your diced liver gets saved, and you'll sprinkle that over the top of the cookies. That's what makes them liver chip. Okay, the liver chip cookie recipe. I just talked about what we do with the liver. We're going to add 3/4 of a cup of plain yogurt, 4 large eggs, a can of mushroom soup, and enough liver broth to fill the blender container right up to the top. I usually also throw in 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. For our dry ingredients, use 1 cup of your oat flour, 1 cup of the rice and barley ground grit, 4 cups of 50-50 white and whole wheat flour, for a total 6 cups of dry ingredients. After blending all of our wet ingredients and chopping and dicing the liver chips, your bowl should now look like this. We're ready to begin to mix in our flour. Pour the contents of the blender jar into the bowl right over the diced liver bits, and add a cup of each of the 3 kinds of flours right on top. As the note says, after about 6 cups of dry ingredients have been mixed in, your dough should stand on its own in the mixing bowl. A good test is to see if the spatula will stand straight up on its own. This is the step I always forget until the very last minute. While your hands are still clean, spray a little nonstick oil on your glass microwave plate or plates. If you have 2 glass plates, divide your mixed dough into 2 equal portions. If you've only got 1 turntable, you can save the other half of your dough for microwaving a little bit later. Just cover it with plastic wrap. This is where a long, flat knife is very handy. Mine is a chef's meat slicing knife, but you could use a cake decorator's frosting blade just as well. The idea is to evenly smooth the dough on the plate so it's the same thickness in the middle as it is on the edges. Okay, now we've got the dough on the plates. Spread it evenly so it looks like the photo on the right. Then, and this is true for any topping you add except for cheese, sprinkle your liver chip bits evenly on top of the dough, and then gently pat them down into the dough with the clean backside of your long knife. This ensures that the chips will stay on the cookies and not fall off into the cookie jar. We're ready to microwave. In they go, 15 minutes on high. It's been 15 minutes. Let's take the cookies out of the microwave and let them cool down for just a bit. If you see any bubbles in the dough, prick them with a fork and press everything back down nice and level on the glass plate. Now, take your pizza wheel and cut the cookies into bite-sized pieces crosswise as shown on the left. For Newfoundlands, we make them about 1 inch square. For a smaller dog, cut the cookies even closer together. Once you've scored the cookies, back in the microwave they go for another 10 minutes. It's coffee time. Around my house, we call this time to flip the chips. After you've had your coffee, take the cookies out of the microwave and use a spatula to flip them upside down on the plate. The bottoms will still be moist. And oh, by the way, try yelling "samples" and see who comes a-running. This is when I give the dogs a taste of things to come. Okay, they're upside down. Now they go back in the microwave for another 10 minutes. There, now we've got cookies. At this point, the cookies are still soft or semi-hard, depending on your perspective. If I'm making training treats, I will quickly cut each one in half, sometimes even in thirds. Always remember, it's not the size or the amount of the reward you offer your dog. It's that act of love that counts. Soft cookies, especially for training, keep well in a sealed container in the fridge for up to a week. For dry cookies, there's just one more step. How many remember the Ronco dehydrator? Yep, they're still around. $10 at a good garage sale, or brand new for $30 at Harbor Freight. When I want totally dry cookies that will last virtually forever, I spread them on the racks of my Ronco dehydrator. Salmon crack is done in a couple of hours. Most of my recipes dry completely overnight. If you make the fruit-based cookies, they often will take a day and a half to dry out completely. There you have it, folks. You've now declared your independence from tasteless commercial dog treats. No more artificial anything for your dog. No more preservative this or preservative that. Red, yellow, and blue dyes, they're out the window. You really think your dog cares about what color his cookie is? That's all for you, not for him. It makes for a happy, healthy, and long life. Next, I'll tell you how to get all my recipes in print form. Happy baking!